Hey guys, this is Jeff with Bauer & Sons Contracting here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I've got this beautiful building. I want to show you how we constructed it. This guy is 60 foot wide, 90 foot long, and 14 foot tall. It's one of the most rock solid buildings we've put together, and want to give you a tour and show you how we put this building together. So come on in. So let me show you how we put the building together. You've got a foot tall coming up here above the foundation, or above the slab, but this footer is actually a 4 foot tall foundation. So 3 feet is beneath the surface, and then that 3 feet is actually sitting on top of another 18-inch wide foundational piece. So it's really secure, anchored to the ground. We did 4 inches of concrete, and you can see that our client had the floor totally epoxied. These walls are 3/4 inch plywood. Behind the wall, it is a stud frame building, and we did 2x6s every 16 inches on center. There's 1 inch of closed cell spray foam, and then an R19 batt insulation on top of that. It's actually about 85 degrees outside right now, and it literally feels like there's air conditioning in this building. If you notice, the liner panel is running horizontal. We do that because it saves the time and the additional expense of running 2x4 purlins. Typically, if you're gonna do liner panel, we like to run the ribs vertically, but in order to do that, you have to run those 2x4s out. So this keeps it nice and flush with our 3/4 inch plywood wall, and it looks pretty sharp. One thing we also did to finish off the building is to add a couple of these propane heaters. There are 1 in each corner, and the concept with that is it helps to force that air to kind of work in a circular motion inside of a building this large. Let's check out a couple other cool features inside the building. A lot of you guys might be thinking about putting a car lift in your building in the future. Here's how we do this a lot of times for our clients. The overall floor depth in this building is only 4 inches. A 4-inch concrete floor will hold typically enough weight that anybody needs, unless you're bringing in something extraordinarily heavy. However, for your anchor bolts and for the size of the lift and the posts, this particular area, this stretch, will dig that area out a little bit deeper and make sure that's about 6 or 7 inches to make sure that those bolts are going to really have a thicker and deeper surface, and just kind of preserve the integrity of this lift over its lifetime. If you're looking to have a little private work area inside of your building, this is a great example of how to do one. So our building is 14 foot tall. This came out right around 8 foot tall approximately. But the cool thing is you get the bonus loft space. Now this office, or basically work area, storage area, is 22 foot long and 17 feet deep. Come on in and I'll show you how we made it. I love this little space because we did frame this with 2x6 walls, and that gave us enough space between the 2x6 studs and then also the 2x10 rafters that we used to do 2 inches of closed cell spray foam. So there's an R14 value right there. And then in the walls and then these wall cavities, we did an additional batt insulation of R19. In the ceiling, we did an R22. So even for this barn, he is well above what was even required, or what's even required for residential living space. The other thing that's really great is he climate controlled this space individually. So he's got the mini split. He has his own private heating and AC just for this particular space because he's going to keep some computer equipment and whatnot. The other thing, if you're going to be doing working space inside of your barn, think through, you might want to have some access. Maybe you want a window so you can see what's going on outside. So that's why we put the window in here and put the door with the additional window. One more thing that's really great is look at these forms. So this is the foundation. This particular part of his foundation, because the ground was sloped, we actually made this section 5 feet deep. So he's got a couple feet sticking out here. He's 3 feet deep in the ground. But I love that the guys used a form that had this brick texture to it. So it added a really cool aesthetic to his building. Two things I want to show you right here. Number one, the drain, and then we'll talk about the door. Putting a drain in your barn is always a smart idea. These smaller drains here are the easiest and the least expensive to do because really all this is just kind of a plastic cap. It's going to set in there and you're going to run your PVC pipe. Most people will just what they call daylight that PVC. It's just going to run under the building, and this is simply going to be so that if you pull your vehicle in and you're in the northern climate and maybe it's dripping snow or it's melting snow, that water is going to dissipate and basically be able to get out of your building. Second thing, think through the size of the overhead door you may need for the future so you don't have to retrofit. This here is a 12 by 12 door. It's big and you can get a lot of stuff in here. If you're gonna be if you're a semi-truck driver or you're getting a massive RV, you're looking at a 14-foot door, but a 12-foot door will get almost anything inside. One strong recommendation, always put in an insulated overhead door. Even if your building is not going to be insulated, don't be so cheap that you don't spend the extra $200 to $300 and upgrade to an insulated door. The integrity of that door and the strength of the door is much more solid, and you'll be grateful over time. Check out this side mount opener. A lot of people are moving to these side mount openers because they're pretty clean, they're a little more compact, and they don't clutter up the ceiling. It's surprising an opener that size can lift and has the strength to lift such a large door, but they're worth the extra money. I think you'll probably find them useful if you're trying to build a higher quality, a little bit nicer building. Here's really the cool thing when you look at this building. This entire location from that power pole over here about 20 feet on my right all the way to the woods over there was completely filled with trees. So this was a massive project, a big undertaking of cleaning out the all of the brush and all of the trees that were here, laying down this foundation of the building, doing the concrete floor. And I love working with clients that do have a vision, and we were able to oversee the concrete work, the foundation, obviously the barn building and all the inside framing. What you see here is he's got the cameras, he's got the floodlights out here, and he's really used his own particular skills to add into that building to make it just perfect for him and his family. This right here is a barn that his family is going to enjoy for many, many years to come. So if you're out there shopping for a building, good luck. Talk to your builder, get counsel, do your research and find out what's going to be best for you, because you're not just building a little storage box. You want to build something that's going to last for you and your family so you can build a legacy. So good luck.